$200. That's exactly what these 5 cards have made me in the last 24 hours. Now, this isn't nice hash, this isn't AI rentals, this is straight up GPU mining on a new coin called Pearl. Now look, I know what you're thinking. 6 months ago, if you asked me this question, is GPU mining still profitable? I would have said absolutely not. But the last week or so, with all of the hype around this coin and the huge profitability, has really changed the game. Haven't seen anything like this since the Ethereum days. Right now, this coin is playing out like it's 2021 again. You've got a graphics card at home, any graphics card could be leaving money on the table. So here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you, first of all, what Pearl coin is, tell you a little bit about it. We're going to look at the price, we're going to look at the hash rate and some of the implications of all of these graphics cards coming online. I'll show you briefly my setup. Then of course, we'll see exactly how much we've made in the last 24 hours and whether we can sustain it. Let's get into it. All right, so what is Pearl coin? Well, all that you really need to know if you're here to try and make a few extra dollars, that is a new proof of work coin, proof of useful work coin, right? So this isn't just some, random coin that does basically nothing. The idea is that it's meant to work alongside AI workloads. So Pearl is basically just a new crypto trying to make use of this AI buzz. Instead of traditional proof of work mining, where computers burn power solving random puzzles like Bitcoin does, Pearl's built around proof of useful work, right? So the idea is that the GPUs can mine while Pearl is doing the type of calculations needed for, language models, things like that in AI. And it has this other thing called matrix multiplication. So this gets pretty deep here. Look, we won't go too much into exactly what it is. I'm going to leave all the links here for you. If you want to do all this reading yourself and find out exactly how the whole ecosystem works, the links will be down below. All right, let's start looking at a bit of the interesting stuff, right? The stuff that matters to you as GPU miners at home and people trying to make some passive income. So first of all, the price, the most important part, along with the hash rate. We'll start right here. So we're over here on safetrade.com. This is one of, if not the only exchange that you can actually cash out your Pearl into USDT or Bitcoin, send it elsewhere, wherever you want. So we can see right here the 23rd of May, that was now 7 days ago. That's when this was listed on the exchange, and we can see the price was just like a rocket, started at just under 45 cents, or just at 45 cents, just under, and zoomed all the way up here till $1.41, even a little bit higher, I think, until we've had this this big sell-off just recently. Yeah, look at this, $1.65. Now we'll get into some of the numbers later of what I sold at, but I basically sold, sort of all the way up here. We have had a little pull back down, but I'm assuming it's going to pull back up. Well, I'm hoping so anyway. We can see a ton of volume, lots of people buying and selling, as well as down here on the side over here. Can you see all that? Let me just adjust this quick. Okay, so you can see a bit more. So we can see lots of buy and sell orders. The buys are 17% less than the sell orders, hence why this price has been coming down a little bit recently. But I'm pretty confident it can come back up. So there has been, as we've mentioned, a ton of volume. So let's jump on over and see how much of this Pearl has been moving, in the last 24 hours. Checking out here, we're on the Pearl Scan Blockchain Explorer. We're looking at the different pools, right? So these are the pools where you can mine Pearl, how many blocks they've hit, and how much Pearl has been moved around at the moment, mine specifically. So we're here on Alpha Pool at the moment, which is a really good little pool. It does have a higher fee, 6%, but very easy to use. You can see in the last 24 hours, they've paid out 434,000 Pearl. Now combined, The last 24 hours, 1,337,000 leaked. Anyone get that reference? 1337, old school gamer reference there. But 1.35 million Pearl. Now, at the previous price of about $1.50 where it was, sort of for the last 24 hours, what are you looking at there? Like $2.5 million worth of volume. That's been moving around. Maybe not necessarily on these exchanges. Not everyone is selling, but yeah, a ton of Pearl. Even right now with the price down around the dollar, you'd be looking at just under $1.5 million US dollars worth of volume. So we haven't seen anything like this in quite some time with crypto mining. So this is really, really exciting. I'm really hoping that is going to stay this way. But things do change, right? Hash rate goes up and down. Profitability is still good, which we'll look at now. We'll jump on over. See that screen? Yep. So the current profitability, this is in USD for my 5090s, is estimated at about $30, right, per 5090. Now I have 5 of these, $150 if you do the math. Was a little bit better than that. Like we said, about $220 I ended up with in the last 24 hours, but still really, really good, Let's actually have a look at some of these other graphics cards and see if Pearl's at the top for all of them. Yep, pretty much at the top for everything. So like I said, if you've got any sort of half decent graphics card, 5080s, 4070 Ti Supers, they're all making really, really good money. 5070s, even these AMD cards you can now mine with as well. 3060 Ti making $4.50. Like I said, we haven't seen anything like this for years, 5 years, maybe 4 years since Ethereum days. So really, really, really exciting. Let's hope it is gonna stay that way. Now, of course, it would be nice if we could stay at this $200 forever. But there are going to be factors that are going to contribute, to lower earnings, right? One of them, the most obvious, of course, being people selling everything that they're mining, right? So the price is going down. As we can see, the price is down 20% in the last 24 hours or so. The revenue's also down. That's because the price is down and the yield is down. So the yield's referring to the hash rate. That's the amount of graphics cards basically online. Right, so the more graphics cards online, the more it has to be spread out, and the less we all earn, which is unfortunate. So you can sort of see that directly represented in this network hash rate right here. On the 25th of this month, so 5 days ago now, we're at 13.87 equihash, which is a lot, right? And we're now sitting at 19. We peaked up at 20. Right, so we were 70% increase 4 days now. I'm actually surprised to see this flatten out a little bit. Let's hope it does stay that way, because that would be really, really nice. With this increased hash rate, of course, the network difficulty goes up. Block rewards have been going down. That'll just be whatever their burning sort of mechanism is, whatever their metric is that they mine blocks with. Block time, of course, went down, 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 and then back up again. Assuming as more people were mining or so, they hit them a lot faster. So definitely a lot of different variables, right? So, in the last 6 years or so that I've been crypto mining, this almost seems too good to be true, right? I would love to say it's going to stay this way. Maybe it will. Even if we got a few weeks, a few months, that would be fantastic. But if you've got any of these graphics cards here, or a graphics card, or an old GPU mining farm, turn your stuff on, right? Because you can take advantage of this right now and at least make yourself a little bit of money while it's still there. So checking out my rigs, before we get into the exact numbers, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown if it's something you wanted to get into yourself. As we said, I've got these 5 5090s here. These were all AI rental rigs. So we had various different CPUs with them. We had the Epic motherboard, the 7950s, and the 7945 HXs. Now, I was renting out these rigs for people who were mining Pearl like 10 days ago. Little did I know, I should have been mining this directly myself. But one thing to know, these will run hot. see these cards are up at about 73 degrees Celsius, even with some undervolts I've got on them, locked core clocks and things like that, because they basically want to run full power, right? Is that all on screen? Yeah. So you can see we've got a locked core clock of 2490, we've got a core offset of 200 and a locked memory clock. This is maxing it out. This is using 600 of 600 watts. Hence why they're going to run hot. So that is definitely something to keep in mind if you want to get your rigs up and running, depending on where you are in the world. It's winter here in Australia, which means it's probably summer somewhere else. So bear that in mind if you're going to get these up and running. They will run hot. All right, time for the fun stuff, the stuff that actually matters. So we're over here on alphapool.tech. This is the mining pool. Told you guys about that we're mining on. We can see my hash rate here. So we've got 1.82 petahash. Now, very quickly, I did want to show you on our hashrate.n here. They do have a little calculator, right? So if you wanted to figure out how much your card was going to earn, you could simply just go straight to the graphics card tab and see that. Or you could enter in a calculator and then put in your power so you know exactly how much you're earning. According to hashrate.no, I should still be at about $109, but these numbers are never that accurate, right? About 160 Pearl is about right. That's kind of what I got. But yeah, take those numbers with a grain of salt. So see here, our hash rate, our 24-hour hash rate is 1.75. The thing you really want to pay attention to here is your 24-hour hash rate. Your current hash rate will fluctuate up and down. As we can see, this 5900X and 5090 rig says it's getting 525 terahash. That is not accurate. Okay, that's not right. So we can see I just started yesterday or the day before. I must have been right at the end of the 24-hour cycle because we had about 10 Pearl. So this is the day we're looking at here, about 154 we've mined so far. Funnily enough, we've got about another 27 that haven't been paid out yet in these blocks. They're still waiting to be validated here. So probably actually going to a little bit more than that 200 or so number, but you know, 200 still pretty good. Now I'm over on Safe Trade. We can see all these payments. We've got the 26, the 22, whatever it worked out to, about 150 or so, as we said in that first day, first full day, which worked out to, when I sold it at the time, just under $240. This last payout of 26 Pearl, I just traded into USDT at about 1.1, right? So that was about $35. You know, just over 200 US dollars we've made in the last 24 hours. So really, really happy with that. Now, I'm sure me selling all my Pearl off like everyone else isn't helping sustain the price by any means, but take the profits. If there's one thing I've learned, if you can take profits in crypto, take them. Holding all these coins that may be great today and may be gone tomorrow, in my opinion, never worked out very well for me. For very few people I've ever spoken to about any of this sort of crypto stuff. So all in all, it's been a really, really good 24 hours crypto mining again, GPU mining to be specifically. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think this will last? Is this like a 1 to 2 week max number and then it's gone? I'm interested to hear your thoughts, guys. So leave me a comment. If you want to talk more about Pearl, join the Discord. The link is in the description. Catch you in the next one. Peace.